Hello, thanks for dropping in. I have here an 1802 monitor. It was, I suppose, for this, well, it could be for anything, but mostly for the 64, judging by the color, especially the later 64s or the 64C. But I've been having an interesting time getting the video to, not that the monitor doesn't work, it's just, I think what I have here is a non-Commodore video cable, which means that things are as, well, the colors are not as they seem. I'm just going to unplug this. This is a 64C board. Now, I have been tinkering on this a little. I want to turn on my light and tip this down and have a little look. You know what else I might need? Glasses. Because you see, there are 5 holes here. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and a switch. And, okay, so we have audio 1, audio 2. Okay, on the top. So basically, I guess, I'm not sure why it would have 2, but anyway, it does. Audio 1, audio 2. So that means I can not worry about putting any video in there. Now, next, underneath there we have video, luma, and chroma. And then the switch says video in the bottom position, or in the top, it says Commodore video. So, video, luma, chroma. Alright. Video, luma, chroma. And this is Commodore, and this is video. Alright. Oh, and the video, so the audio ones are white, and then there's yellow, yellow, red. Alright. So, I think this is oh no, this is a Commodore video cable. I see it. There is the Commodore logo on the top. So that would tell me that if I put the red in the red, the white in the white, and the yellow in the yellow, and I push them in really well, and I select Commodore video, do not drop the monitor. Do not drop the monitor. So, if that is the case, if I turn this on, there's a button on the side, by the way. And then I take this Commodore, oops, don't need that light on anymore. And I take this Commodore 64 power supply and this cable, Commodore art. And so that is correct. When I turn this on, we should see something beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Let me actually do. So this monitor, which is an 1802 color video monitor, is, well, it could use a little magic eraser, of course. It has mostly controls in the back. It has two big knobs in the front. It has the power switch on the side. And as it happens, in terms of, oh, here comes some sound, I bet. That's a good. It's funny because before, when I was just tinkering on this, and I hadn't had as good a look at those connectors there, I was having a rough time getting all this, and it wasn't quite happening as it should. It was not. Anyway, this monitor, yes, it could use a magic eraser now. Before this, it did look like maybe it had had late one night, sometime, somewhere, somehow, it looked like maybe somebody had spilled some sort of Coke or something or another. And I would say, you know what, a magic eraser is a beautiful thing. If you come upon something like this that had more than just the scunge of years and such, really take a moist washcloth, not too, you don't want to get any water inside, and give it a rub down and really go at the areas that are infected, because it really did a fine job. Now, the magic eraser will be better. Back to yellowing. The only things that I can see on this monitor that are yellowed, as happens with some things, are the volume control, the brightness control, and the power switch. Everything else seems not bad, and the coloring would match the, oh, well, it would match the Commodore 64C, except, of course, this one is yellowed. Oh, there's the bottom. The bottom is not so bad. Anyway, so now this monitor also, on the back of this, there are a number of things. Oh, by the way, here, look at this. I need to clean this up, but be careful not to wear the Commodore off. This is a keychain, and it's a Commodore keychain, and it's a screwdriver. And on one end of the screwdriver is slot, and the other is Phillips. Beautiful. As I remember, I visited Commodore once before I did some stuff on a TV show, and I got a pre-release version on cartridge of the game Le Mans. And I believe it was David Berezowski who I saw there. And he said, you can always tell when the company's doing better when more things like coffee mugs and other things start appearing. Anyway, on the back of this monitor are a number of controls that on 1701 and 1702 are in the front, but they're not. They have tint, color, contrast, horizontal position, and vertical hold. And like a lot of such things that Commodore made, there is, if you turn the dial, you can feel kind of the middle ground. There's a little bit of a feeling to it. It's hard to describe. You just, as you turn, you just feel this little, oh, that's the middle. It is. And that is where, if you're trying something out, you should try and start there. It doesn't mean you have to end there. Another interesting thing I found as I was tinkering, if I can, it's hard to get your hand under there. I think it was this one. Yeah, when I did the horizontal. Yeah. If I did this one, and I slid it, oh, now it's not doing it. Okay, before when I was doing this, if I slid it too far that way, the color went away. Which reminds me, I remember there was I worked at Electronics 2001 for a while, and these people came in, and they had sent their monitor out to be repaired. And it came back, and it was exactly the same. And all it was somewhere along the edge here, there was some little something. And I guess, you know, they sent the monitor back to be repaired under warranty. They, you know, turn it on and say, monitor works fine. And so while they were there talking to the manager about, you know, it's exactly the same, they didn't do anything, what the hell. I hooked it up out front and ever so gently tweaked the horizontal, what's the horizontal? I think it was the horizontal control, ever so slightly, and then this little whatever thing it was they were complaining about went away, and it was fine. And but while they were in the midst of talking about this, I called them over and I said, how about that? And they said, that's it, that's perfect. Anyway, as you know, on the 1701 and 17, well, maybe you don't know, but on the 1701 and the 1702, all these controls were on the front, under the little door. And the little door is always the thing that seems to go missing. Anyway, so here we have an 1802. Now the thing I always liked about the 1701 and the 1702 is that they were flat on top and you could stack them. This one is obviously not. You cannot stack. I'm trying to remember. Just a moment. Oh, does it have something underneath? Part 2. No. I thought, oh, yes it does. Maybe it does. No, it doesn't. I thought maybe it had little extra feet that came. No, it does not. It does not have such a thing to tilt it more. It does have, on the back of it, ooh, these two inlets, which I suppose make it easier to carry, I would suppose. This monitor, shock hazard, do not open. Yes. This one was manufactured in September of 1986. Made in Korea. Yes. Model 1802. 120 volts. Etc., 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 etc. Sold by Commodore Business Machines, 1200 Wilson Drive West. Oh, sorry, 1200 Wilson Drive, Westchester, Pennsylvania. I wonder what became of that building. Anyway, if you are tinkering with a monitor, such as this, if you do have a non-standard cable, which is a non-Commodore cable, the good news is I've never heard of anybody doing damage plugging the wrong things into the wrong thing. It really comes down to experimenting as best you can and getting the picture. Like, if before, when I was trying to figure out what was what, I could get video that was just black and white. I finally got video that was kind of color, but it really wasn't. And not until I went and actually looked, like I was looking, but it was very hard to see. And like black on black with slightly raised letters. So in other words, wear your glasses, check it out, look it over. If you have a Commodore cable, the colors should match up. If you have a non-Commodore cable, well, be careful out there. And I don't know why this monitor would have two audio inputs, except of course if someone was going to use it with their Amiga, it had two audio outputs. It did. And thus the reason there was the model 1084 monitor, and then there was the model 1084S, which stood for, wait for it, stereo. So maybe for some people this would have been, like say you had an Amiga 500 with a 520 adapter, you could use this monitor and you could have both things plugged in. Now, I don't know that there's two speakers in this, so I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why. But anyway, it does seem to work. It is quite crisp and clear, and what I'm going to do, because, you know what, I have enough, or, well, I've got monitors. And, you know, I've given up on the idea that I'm going to run the ultimate Commodore museum. Somebody else can do that somewhere. And, of course, Sid Bolton was doing that. It wasn't just Commodore. But he was doing that, and of course, he is gone. So, I am going to junk text message. Anyway, I am going to put a variety of monitors up for sale once I have tested them, and once I have burned them in. And so I'm suspecting tonight, before I go to sleep, I'll turn this monitor on. And I will hope that it is still on in the morning. And that it's fine. But I would rather it die here than somewhere else. So, this is a Commodore 1802. I will tidy it up with a magic eraser. I don't do retro-brighting things. Although it feels like if I were to gently pull on these knobs, I could get them to come off. So the knobs will be, you know, kind of yellow. And the power switch on the side, it too looks a little yellow. But it's a fine monitor. It is indeed. And so stay tuned. I think this is going to be the first one that I'm going to put up for sale. I think. And this board here, which is a 64C board, my glasses, I have decided I'm really not fond of these. There may be some reason that I should be, but I can't think of one. Because, my arm has come off a bit. These glasses remind me of John Boy Walton. I'm very well coordinated, very coordinated. Anyway, why don't I like this board? It is a 250659, sorry, 2506. It is a 250469 PCB number 252311 revision 3, made in Hong Kong. Anyway, all of these little boards, firstly, most of them come with things in, sorry, not in sockets. And that's okay, as long as they keep working. But when these boards go bad, typically the video chip, the SID chip, and the little support chip are in sockets. Everything else is soldered directly to the board, including this chip here, which is a 251715-01, made by Moss, which is not a bad thing. But anyway, I don't like the Super PLA chip boards. I don't like them. I've not had great success, and other people I know have not had tremendous success fixing them. So I think besides putting this monitor up for sale, I just recently did sell one of these boards. Now, one must keep in mind that SID chips are still highly prized in the world and incredibly expensive by themselves. So, what I think I'm going to do is to put this board up all by itself for somebody who's having trouble, and I will leave it completely populated, completely working, and completely happy. Without the SID chip, without the video chip, etc., it would cost a lot less. It would. But the SID chip, I mean, I've seen them online going for well over $100. That might even be American. So, and this SID chip, which I cannot exactly see, 85, 80. It has the goop on it. It does. I suppose if I were to go over here, I might find a napkin. I'm trying not to knock things over. Right. Here is a napkin. For anybody putting this back together, it's a good thing to put this stuff back on, because it will have the heat sink. Well, the one that comes with the machine, it should have. Maybe I will clean them all. Because without, should I be doing this with a turn off? Yeah, maybe not. So inside this board we have an 8580 R6, made in the 12th week of 1987. Oh, and the video chip is an 8562 R4, made in the 12th week of 1987. Oh, and the processor is an 8500, which is really a 6510. Pretty much everything is made in and around the 10th, 11th, or 12th week of 1987. It is. They are. Anyway, I'm sure this cut costs. I'm sure it was more efficient. You know, and it only took 2 RAM chips instead of 8. And there's a lot less things going on in here, I guess, and, you know, the less things you have, the less things there are that can go wrong. Except, when these things go bad, they're a pain. They are. They are. So, I think I will put this up for sale. It has kind of the gold tone on the traces, and it looks pretty. It does. It does indeed. Alright. Well, this monitor seems okay. This machine seems just dandy. The SID chip seems to be quite dandy and perfect. I will turn it off. And I will pull this rubber band off of here. A lot of people wrap cables in different ways. This one, I've got to figure if I can get this off. It was in its original styrofoam, and a bunch of the styrofoam kind of worked its way off onto the cable. Oh well, still works. Just not a museum piece anymore. It is not. Anyway, if you do, in fact, have, or we find that you have an original Commodore video cable right here on the top, you will find the Commodore logo. And if that is the case, the colors should match up. If it is not the case, that you don't have that on there, then the colors are really a crapshoot. They are. Anyway, thank you for coming. Stay tuned. More and more things will be going up for sale. If there's something you're looking for, whether you are halfway around the world or in the Toronto area, do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is drbradleyphotography@hotmail.com. That's Dr. period. The word photography. Oh, sorry. Dr. period Bradley, Bradley, photography, just the way it's normally spelled, @hotmail.com. And yes, we can do a socially distanced pickup. And certainly if I end up shipping something somewhere, that too is socially distanced. I did recently ship a 1702, I think it was, to the Northwest Territories, and I know it has arrived, and because I've heard nothing, I can only assume that it's working and everything is good in the world. I did take tremendous care in packaging it up. Otherwise, I mean, what's the point in sending it if it's not going to make it alive? What's the point? So, thanks for coming. It is much appreciated. I remain at your service. If you have any questions, I will do my best. Until we meet again, I will burn this in tonight. I will probably take pictures of this and get it on its way to somebody worthy who will be happy to get their 64C back in the game. Back in the game. And I will continue to test things. For one thing that I do want to do, and do want to test, I'll have to get a real whole 64 here, is I have some bus cards and BI-80 cards and other things that I would like to make sure that they work, and then they too will likely be on their way. I do not have the little wires that go inside. But that is minor, I think. Alright. Enough for now. Thank you for coming again.